What's up, guys? I made $11,000 trading euro dollar today, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and why I believe trading just pure technical analysis in 2025 and going forward is just not going to be good enough, and you're going to be left behind if that is how you're trading. So if we have a look over here, here's the trade, the exact same trade that I took. And if you don't believe me, here is me actually posting the setup that I took live in our live trading session this morning. You can actually see here that I actually document at the bottom saying per the live stream, this is what we were looking for, and let's see if we can get the rollover. And yeah, if you have a look over here, you can see all the guys that managed to actually get involved in this and eat. We had AC actually come through with 2 FTMO passes, 1 verification, as well as a P1. This was pretty insane. MTX also had a pass. Here's my trading setup here too. Here's AC with another, and we had a couple other guys in the chat also mention it. So very, very cool from the team today. But before I get into it and why I say that I think trading just pure technical analysis in 2025 and going forward is not going to be good enough, let me show you the actual execution that I took. And you can also see here how I had $5,000 come off of the one count, just over 4,000 and another 2,000 here, totaling to about $11,000, which is a pretty insane day if you ask me. And basically what I've been looking into and what I'm actually going to start breaking down in more detail is how to use order flow, right? So in this data model over here, you can see that this is actual level 2 access to a platform that I use called ATOS. I'll drop the link in the description below and you can go check it out after. But basically, this is something that allows me to see volume footprint data. And this actually gives me real clear insights into the trade and also allows me to see a little bit further than just the naked eye and what everyone else sees on a daily basis, right? So if you have a look over here, we could see some really nice bids setting up on the side here. There was some nice volume that pushed through in London Open. And that's kind of what ultimately allowed me to basically get ahead of the market. And this is what I explained to my members in the live this morning, how we are using this and how we are going to be using this going forward to actually beat the books even more than what we have been already doing. So without further ado, let's get into the trade. Let me show you how I actually took the setup. So if you can remember back from the previous videos, I always speak about 2 things, mainly keeping it simple, one, and another thing is having some sort of high time frame bias and then executing based on your lower time frame execution or whatever the plan may be. So I marked this out with the members at the beginning of this week. I said that we are going to come into this area over here, which I deemed as my supply area, right? And I had a feeling, well, I had a sort of bias that we were potentially going to come into here and maybe see some sort of reactions out of these areas and then continue trading back to the downside, right? Now, in this instance, you'll actually see that price has actually popped up thereafter, straight after this trade was taken. And it might just be the case that we're engineering some liquidity and building up before potentially a move lower down. Or it might be the case that we actually hold in these areas over here, right? And we continue to push back to the upside. But I'm trading a simple plan that is very mechanical, systematic. It's the same thing over and over again. And for me today, I saw this tap into this H4 supply area, right? And you can see here that we got this confirmation entry just before London Open. And I think it was around here where we got the close below. Right, price broke through below here. I had a sell limit that was then placed on this market shift entry over here. I had my stop just above this high in this instance here too, you can see, and I was targeting a 2 to 1. Now, something that is also very key, and I know I mentioned very briefly the volume footprint data, but you also need to understand what is going on from a fundamental perspective. So today we had the jobless data coming out, right? And recently we haven't actually had NFP data coming out. It's only recently came out last week. So you know, the market is kind of looking at these jobless claims data to see how accurately the NFP data has been maybe priced, if maybe there were some discrepancies in the data. And we actually saw, I think, the jobless data come out a little bit better than expected, and hence we got a very good push thereafter, right? So Trading into London, yeah, we just missed this Asia low over here. And getting back to that previous video that I spoke about in the in my previous session, I kind of explained this in great detail how you need to be able to back your system, back your plan, really understand what you're doing on a daily basis. And this is what I teach within the alchemy. I teach this simple, simplistic model, and I teach how you need to really have your sort of wits about you and stay mechanical, yeah, maintain sort of the same thing over and over again. And in this instance, yes, price nearly came and would have tagged you out potentially for break even, which is kind of what I was explaining in the previous video. And if you actually play this forward a bit now, you can see how price comes up on that news event, right? We sweep that high and then absolutely melts thereafter, right? Now, if you got a bit nervous today, because I think some of you guys probably took this trade, and you might have seen price come into here, nearly potentially take this Asia low, and this is what I was basically speaking about in my previous video. You add this human element of discretion to it. You potentially roll your stop loss to break even. Price comes back up, takes you out, and now you're out of the trade, and then it moves in your TP. So, if you're struggling with that, and I know there's a great amount of people, because I myself also used to struggle with this a lot, and I've definitely figured out how you can figure out a workaround around it, how you can really use this to your sort of daily advantage, and yeah, ultimately extract money from the market. That's what we're here to do. So if this is something that interests you and you believe that, hey, look, I can potentially help you, this is actually our last month that we are doing our mentorship for 2025. So I'm going to pop the link in the description below where you can apply. Feel free to check it out. It is going to be the last month we do intake for 2025, and then we'll potentially revisit this in the new year. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely go check it out. But that's basically what I wanted to show you today. And yeah, ultimately a good sort of close to November. I had a nice trade on Friday as well that also resulted in $5,000. So up over $16,000 over the last couple of trading days, which I think is great and it's fantastic. So if this is something that you believe that I can help you with, go check the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.